Hello and good afternoon to you people. This is Cliff Graves from Trainwell Boxing. Now, I've had to come out and produce this video to put this one to rest because I think it's vitally important. Vitally important. In fact, this time of year, as we remember the birth of Jesus, Lord Jesus Christ, because that is what Christmas is all about, it is even more important. Evolution is lies. Now, the scientists have almost got it right because adaptation, yes. So if you have somebody that lives in Africa that reproduces with somebody that is from Finland, then you're still going to produce a human being. Yes. But there will be adaptations within the offspring of that particular couple. So I've looked up where it says about species, right? What species means. Some examples of species include Homo sapiens, cats, foxes, cows, and then all other sorts of animals. Now, I am not going to name and shame anybody. It's not my duty to do that. However, I am allowed to speak out when I believe something is completely false, and evolution is completely false. You'll get these almost irate scientists that have got basically a bee in their bonnet in life in something. I don't know whether it stems from being completely anti-Christian, which is the true motives behind these scientists. But let me ask you this question, scientists. What was the divine spark of life? Please tell me. Please tell me. Please give me an intelligent, educated, sensible, adult, simplistic, one-liner, one sentence. Well, that question, of course, has been posed to many scientists. And they say, we're scientists. Look, if we don't know the answers, we jolly well roll up our sleeves and get to work. Well, they've been trying to solve this for hundreds of years. And according to what the evolutionists believe in, probably millions of years. And they still haven't got their head round it. So what's going wrong? If it's so simplistic to understand, explain it in just one sentence. What was the original divine spark of life? Tell me. Tell me what it was. Oh, some have said, oh, it was a quark. A what? I've said. A duck quacking? No, a quark. Spelt Q-U, letter U, Q-U-A-R-K, quark, which allegedly is a dissected atom. Apparently, allegedly, highly intelligent scientists were able to dissect an atom. And as the story goes, do you know what they found? Do you know what they found? Sound waves. Yes, 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 people. Sound waves. As one of the most earliest formats ever of existence. So my question is, well, what caused the sound waves? Scientists, people that have been to King's College University, got top of the range degrees, Cambridge, Oxford. Tell me how those sound waves got there. They don't know the answer. And do you know what? They won't know the answer. Because that is fourth dimension stuff, which we're not meant to understand. So they can't tell us. So please show a bit of humility. Show a bit of humility. Because if you can't prove the theory or whatever you want to call it of evolution, the divine spark of life, the originator. If you can't explain evolution, then it has to be creation. Without a shadow of a doubt. Case closed. Because how the fuck did we get here then? And the other thing as well, of course, is if we were just, which of course we are, because that's how Adam was formed, from the dirt, from the clay, on the ground. Yeah. But if we were just purely that, we would be robots. Who decided then, and when was it decided, that murdering somebody was wrong? Which of course it is. Who decided and when that having unlawful raping a woman or other is wrong? Which of course it is. Who decided that? Who made that law? Who reasoned that law into being? Why did they reason that law into being? Why is it wrong for somebody not to kick your door in and go into your home, steal all your possessions and say they're now mine now? Why would you get arrested for it? Which of course you should. And brought before the courts, which of course you should. And in most cases, end up doing a custodial, which you should. Because of reasoning, people. Because of our spirit. Because of our emotion. Where does sadness come from? Where does love come from? Where does happiness come from? If we are just carbon and dirt and water and atoms and nothing else. Over millions of years we've been evolved. I want these questions answered intelligently logically, sensibly, in an adult way, simplistically, not trying to baffle us over and hit us over the head with scientific jargon. But they can't, dear listeners. They can't. It's not they won't, they can't. Turning now to the Darwinian principle. You know, the one of, we came from apes. Well, apes is the umbrella term, isn't it? For all like gorillas, orangutans, chimpanzees, goodness knows what, monkey life, isn't it? So what was it we originated from? Was it chimpanzees? Was it chimpanzees? Or was it silverback gorillas? Which one? Which was the first? Which was the first? According to the explanation Darwin gives via his diagram, many scientists love to show off. We have what looks like a chimpanzee going up through several different stages of supposed evolution into a human being. So what are we evolving into as human beings? Can somebody give me, they say, we know all this carbon data, this, and we know this and we know that. Well, when was the first human being then? As we see in the Darwinian principle, not as a caveman, half man, half monkey. Oh, no. I want to know when. How long ago? When was that first human that walked away, almost hairless, straight up, walking away in the Darwinian theory? They can't answer it. They'll get very defensive. Some of them will get quite aggressive. Some of them will get quite rude. But it still does not detract from the fact you cannot answer it. You cannot answer it with an intelligent, reasonable, simplistic, adult answer without losing your rag. Next question. If we go still just for a minute on the Darwinian principle of the chimpanzee and then the human being, right? Chimpanzees, as we know, are still in existence, right? That's a fact. They might be depleting in their numbers as the silverback gorillas are depleting in their existence. We know that. That's happening. Right at the other end of the scale, we've got the human beings, which is increasing. I don't know what we're changing into after a human being, I might add. What happened to the other stages of evolution? What happened to it? I don't want some childish answer to come back. They believe half man, half ape man actually does still exist somewhere in the Amazon forest, deep in the Amazon forest, or something stupid like that. Where did all those other stages go? It's not an unreasonable question to pose, is it? if we're looking at millions and millions and trillions and trillions and billions of years, is it, of evolution? Surely. All questions I've posed, I won't get any answers because they scurry off, because the evolutionists are cowards. Cowards, gutless, bottleless, gutless tripe that cannot face up and give the answers. Where did emotion come from? What was the divine spark of life? What are we evolving into after human beings? What happened to the other stages of the Darwinian principle? We still have monkeys, we still have human beings. They can't. They can't. Now, dear evolutionist, let me give you some learned advice that I think you should switch on to and listen to. Adaptation of the species, most definitely, 100%. 100%, I agree. 100%. Like I've said, if you have a 5'2" Finnish woman that reproduces with a 6'6" Nigerian African, then it's probably reasonable to presume that the offspring that they have are going to have a mix of genes of both parents. And there's every likelihood that they'll be tall, or certainly taller than their mother. Over the years, and we're talking 300, 400, 500, 600, 700 years, not millions of years, we have, of course, seen adaptation of the species. Anglo-Saxons were very short. So my history lessons have taught me Henry VIII was short. Many Anglo-Saxons were short. When the invasions of the Vikings came over, they were very tall, 6'3" and above. And as we know, they basically came in and rampaged and everything else. And so we suddenly had this much taller race of British Isles inhabitants. That is not evolution, my friend. That is not evolution. No. That is adaptation. I got some funny features, me. I got some funny hair colouring and a bit of, I suppose there's a bit of red ginger in there. I'm not ginger, but there's a bit of that redness ginger in there, which would have been influenced probably from way back the Vikings coming over, because the Vikings coming over, the Danish, the Norse from the north were predominantly redheads. How is it one sibling can have one colour of eyes and another sibling have another colour of eyes? My older brother has my mother's eyes, which are hazel. I have my dad's eyes, which are blue. So, Adaptation of the species, most definitely. But evolution is it's like an almost it's where the species over time are changing to give rise to new species. Don't you see what I'm trying to say to you people? How can that be? How long have we been humans? Can somebody answer me that question? Do you know the answer to that? How long have we been humans? How long? When are we going to change into something else then, into a different species? Different species. Because that's what evolution is. Changing over time, giving rise to a species. Species, the idea that the species change over time, giving rise to a new species. It's as clear as mud, is there? So are the scientists shooting themselves in the foot against their own knowledge? Who puts this knowledge out there that we read when we want to get an explanation, an academic explanation of evolution? Who puts that out there? It's the academics, it's knowledgeable people, isn't it? And that's what it's saying. A species changing over time into a different species. So what are we changing into after human beings? And what was we before? The chimpanzee. And explain to me the quark, Q-U-A-R-K principle. And explain to me emotion. Where did that come from? Happiness, sadness, anger, love. Where did all that come from? Pain. Mental, spiritual, and physical pain. If we were robotic, we would feel none of those emotions because they wouldn't exist, would they? They wouldn't not exist. We would walk out onto the road and somebody would get knocked down by a bus and nobody would come along and pick up the body. Nobody would go around and tell the loved ones that their loved one had been fatally injured, run over by a bus. Who made up all those laws and why? What is our conscience? Conscience. Why do we have it? No. Dear listeners, no. Evolution is complete bullshit and a lie and a massive, great big con job. On closing, just so that scientists know where I'm coming from. Evolution, complete bullshit. Adaptation of the species, yes. So, think of it like mountain ranges. Think of the mountain ranges in the Himalayas, for example. On one mountain range, you have Homo sapiens adapting like they have done for nearly 4,000 years. Adapting, like I said, when the Anglo-Saxons were only, the males were only short. Now we see British people over 6 foot. I'm over 6 foot. Adaptation. That is adaptation of the species. I'm not particularly bright. I'm not backward, but I'm not academic. But my wife, I tell you what, with she could look at spaghetti junction wires and go. My niece could come in. It's easy, Uncle Cliff. If we had offspring, there's every chance that they would inherit her technical mind. They might not. Adaptation of the species, yes. So that's on one mountain range. Right close by, next door, on the next mountain range, is your apes. All your gorillas, all your chimpanzees, all your orangutans. All again adapting. Very, very sadly, it does look like the beautiful animal, the silverback gorilla, is going out. They're trying, the biologists and all the rest of it, to keep them going, but it does seem they're going out. But adaptation of the species. Right next door to where the Homo sapien mountain is, but a different mountain. A little few more mountains over, you've got dogs. And all the breeds of dogs. Right next door on a different mountain, you've got cats. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Adaptation of the species, definitely. Evolution, complete bullshit. And so is millions of years. Bullshit. Grow up. But I challenge you, evolutionists, I challenge you to answer my questions and then answer them publicly. Publicly. If you want to try and publicly humiliate me, do so. But you can't, not because you won't, you can't, because you haven't got the answers to my questions. So if you haven't, show humility and not be so completely up yourselves, thinking that you're right. Okay, so thank you for listening. This is Cliff Graves, Trademark Boxing. See you later.